like a Hellcat.
Hello guys, this is Shayon from Simplex, and this video is about everything you need to know about the Xiaomi MI 5. A fun fact, I'm going to read out the specifications from a Xiaomi phone too. Before I get started with the specifications and what I feel about it, I'd like to say something straight out of the box. Guys, this is a everything you need to know video recorded right after the Mobile World Congress. And the MWC at Barcelona, he revealed the product, everything that it can do, but it did not reveal the price. So in the last video I did about the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge, people asked me to quote the price, but the prices aren't out as yet. As soon as the prices are out, we will put them in the description so that you guys can go through it. So what have they exactly done right? Let's get started fast. Form factor. It is made out of metal and glass body, and they have made the back side of the phone a little rounded. So the glass at the back is a little rounded, just like the Note 5 guys. That makes it a lot easier to grip. The screen. It's got a 5.15 inch IPS 1080p display. So it's a full HD screen and it's of the 5.15 inch, so the PPI should be roughly around 400. It's written it's 428 PPI. That is very sharp for an IPS panel. Then the camera. Now this is where things get really interesting. MWC was all about smartphones, but specifically a lot about the camera sections. And Samsung, LG, everyone had their take on their camera. Samsung did dual pixel and this whole f1.7 aperture camera, the low light was the main forte of the Samsung Galaxy S7. Coming to the G5, it's got dual camera. Now coming to Xiaomi MI 5, they kept it simple. They went for a one sensor, but the single sensor is a Sony IMX298 sensor. It's a 16 megapixel sensor, f2.0. Face detection, autofocus, but here's where things get really interesting, guys. They have included a 4-axis optical image stabilization. Now, leaving the gimmicky name aside, what this basically does is it gives you rock solid stabilization, guys. So the video that you shoot with this, rest assured, it's going to be one of the smoothest and most stable video that you can shoot with a cell phone camera. Now the front facing camera is a 4 megapixel camera, but the photo sites or the pixels, individual pixels, are really large. It's around 2 micrometer. Moving on. The chipset, things get a little confusing over here. The basic one is a Snapdragon 820 Cryo CPU at 1.8 GHz and a Adreno 530 at 510 MHz and 3 gigs of RAM at 1333 MHz. Now this is the 32 GB version, guys. There's a second 64 GB edition available, and the difference in the 64 GB is on the chipset and the storage. But just because I'm talking about the chipset, here goes. The 64 GB one has a Snapdragon 820, again Cryo CPUs, but they are clocked a little bit higher, 2.15 GHz versus the 1.8 GHz available in the 32 GB version. And the GPU is an Adreno 530 again. The difference in the clock speed, 624 MHz versus 510 MHz. And lastly, the RAM, that remains the same, the size 3GB, but it's much faster. It's at 1866 MHz, whereas the 32GB version was just 1333 MHz. Coming to the storage, the 32GB version has 32GB UFS 2.0. Moving on, the connectivity. Now that gives you an optional dual SIM, LTE Cat 12. Theoretically very high speeds, I won't get into the details, but what I'd like to tell you is, at least in India, that operators are not ready with full-blown LTE as yet, leave alone Cat 12 LTE. It's got a USB Type-C. Now, like I said in the Samsung video, Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge video, Type-C has advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage straight away is that most of your accessories will not be compatible with the new phone because they're of the micro USB type. Whereas Type-C enables you to transfer data at a higher speed. It lets you charge faster because it supports a higher quick charge functionality of the Snapdragon 820. It's got a 3000 mAh battery, and like I said, it supports quick charge 3.0, supported by the Type-C connector. Now coming to the last part of this phone is the software, guys. Now right out of the box you're going to get Android 6.0 Marshmallow, which is awesome. But the next part, it's a love and hate affair. You see, if you really like heavily skinned UIs and somewhat similar to the iOS UI, you're going to love the MI UI that these phones come with. And the MI UI version becomes bumped to 7.0, so should be pretty awesome for many of you. But on the other hand, those of you who are Android purists, you will not like it. And unlike the TouchWiz that Samsung offers now, can be skinned and themed, MI UI on the other hand locks you right out of the box. So look into it once before you buy the device. That's pretty much it about the specifications, but there is one more edition of this phone that is available. Xiaomi surely managed to make it a little confusing, guys. Now this version, why did I not talk about it during the main specs? Because I highly doubt this will be available in the global market in every place that Xiaomi sells the MI5. Nevertheless, let me mention this. This one is called the Xiaomi MI5 Pro Edition. So the difference between this and the other models is the form factor. It's got metal and glass body, but it's got a ceramic back. So the back is made out of ceramic. Think OnePlus X. The chipset, it's got the same chipset as the Xiaomi Mi 64GB version, Mi5. But the difference is the RAM. It has got 4 gigs of RAM at 1866 MHz. Lastly, the storage. It offers you a 128GB UFS 2.0 storage. So the MI5 Pro Edition overall bumps up, the specs throughout a little and makes it a pretty attractive offer. But everything comes down to the pricing. So now it's time to talk about what I feel about the Xiaomi 5. I'm sure the Xiaomi 5 is going to cost nearly half or even less than that of the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the LG G5. If that is the case, guys, this phone Mi5 is going to be quite a compelling purchase for everyone out there. But here's what I worry about Xiaomi. The phone will not see the light of the day in most of the markets out there, guys. Now if that doesn't happen, then Xiaomi Mi5, no matter how good a phone it is, it will not reach the mass, and therefore it will not be able to capture the market and who the audience like this phone deserves to. But keeping that out of the equation, the specifications, the camera, the display, everything is what a flagship deserves to be. And lastly, what we can do is wait for a little while till Xiaomi launches this phone in the Indian market so that we can get our hands on it and let you guys know whether the Xiaomi Mi 5 deserves your money.